in the quiet corners of Lekki, where the air hums with the rhythm of life, glitz, glamour, and the aroma of freshly cooked pepper soup wafts through open windows, lived a well-accomplished woman whose heart was as open as the skies above her. Ellie, a beacon of kindness, a nurturer of souls, and, as fate would have it, the bearer of heartbreak. Ellie's home was more than just bricks and mortar. It was a sanctuary, a haven for the weary, the lost, and the broken. In every corner, her love resided. Her life's purpose was clear: to be the family she never had, to give freely where others withheld.
Rosa, have you seen the plantain? I want you to fry some for breakfast.
Oh, madam, I already peeled them. Your guests won't even let you rest today. Oh.
The doorbell rings, and in comes Rachael, Ellie's best friend.
Ellie, I swear your food is the only reason I keep coming here. You will spoil me one day, oh.
You know, Rachael, I've always said this house isn't just mine. It's for all of us. When you're here, you're family.
They all laugh as Ellie dishes out steaming plates of food.
Ellie, I beg you spoil us a lot. Who even needs a 5-star restaurant when you're around?
They sit at the table, sharing stories, gossip, and dreams. It all began with a woman rummaging through dumpsters on the streets of Lagos. Ellie, sitting in her car nearby. She watches Rosa silently for a moment, her expression a mix of curiosity and concern. Ellie gets out of the car, approaching Rosa cautiously.
Excuse me, my dear. What are you doing?
I'm looking for something. Please, Ma, don't call the police. I have children to feed.
I'm not here to judge you, but a young and beautiful woman like you shouldn't be doing this. What's your name?
Rosa.
Ellie takes a deep breath, glancing at Rosa's frail frame and the desperation in her eyes. She motions toward her car.
Come with me, Rosa. Let's talk.
Rosa hesitates, her pride and fear holding her back. But something in Ellie's tone, the warmth, the sincerity, draws her in. Slowly, she follows Ellie to the car. Rosa sits at the dining table, nervously twisting her fingers. Ellie places a steaming plate of food in front of her.
Eat first, then we'll talk.
Rosa hesitates, her hands trembling as she picks up the spoon.
Tell me your story, dear. How did you end up here?
I didn't want to do this, but I had no choice. My children, they are all I have left.
You don't have to live like this anymore. If you're willing to work hard and be honest with me, I'll help you. You can stay here and I'll pay for your children's school fees. But you have to promise me one thing. No more shame. You're not alone anymore.
Rosa's tears fall freely as she nods. As Ellie handing Rosa a neatly folded uniform, her kindness illuminating Rosa's despair. Days later, Ellie's best friend Rachael pays her a visit.
Rachie, this is Rosa. She's been staying with me for a while now, helping out around the house. And Rosa, this is Rachael, my best friend since our childhood.
Nice to meet you, Rosa. Ellie's told me so much about you. You're welcome, my dear.
Thank you, Ma. My madam has been a huge blessing to me.
The two women exchange glances, each silently acknowledging Ellie's influence in their lives. Later that evening, Rachael sat quietly in Ellie's living room, visibly distressed. Ellie hands her a cup of tea.
Rachie, you've been so quiet lately. What's going on?
It's my business, Ellie. Sales have been really terrible this month. I'm struggling to pay the rent for my shop, and I don't even know what to do.
You've always been there for me, Rachael. Let me help you this time.
No, Ellie. I can't ask you to do that. You've already done so much for me.
Look, you're not asking, my dear, I'm offering. How much do you need to get back on track?
Ellie had a heart that never counted costs. To her, helping Rachael was second nature, a gesture of love, not obligation. Rachel's birthday was near. Ellie, being selfless as usual, organized a surprise party for her best friend. Balloons and streamers fill the room, but yet more surprises were in stock. Ellie gifts Rachael a designer handbag and makes a heartfelt toast.
To Rachael, my best friend and sister, may this year bring you all the success and happiness you deserve.
Another day, another affluence. Ellie takes Rosa shopping in a high-end boutique. Rosa stands in awe as Ellie picks up a beautiful dress.
This color will look stunning on you, Rosa. You deserve to feel beautiful.
Please, Ma. I can't let you spend this much money on me. I've never even dreamed of clothes like this in my life.
Nonsense. You're part of this family now. You've been working so hard, helping around the house and taking care of things. Let me do this for you.
Rosa tries the dresses on, as Ellie claps her hands in delight.
Perfect. See, I told you, now let's get matching shoes and a bag.
Ellie's kindness knew no bounds. She saw the broken pieces of Rosa's life and made it her mission to restore them. What Rosa once considered impossible now became her reality. Birthdays, bills, and even surprises. Ellie did it all without hesitation.
Madam Ellie, I don't even know how to thank you. You've done more for me than anyone ever has.
Just be happy, Rosa. That's all the thanks I need.
Two women, brought together by Ellie's boundless generosity. But as time went on, the seeds of envy began to take root.
Ellie's so perfect, isn't she? Always helping everyone, always being the hero.
She means well, but sometimes it feels like she's showing off. I'm grateful for everything she's done, but sometimes it feels like she thinks we can't survive without her. I'm tired of her bossing me around and making me feel worthless.
She's always been like that, always the one in control. It's like she enjoys having us depend on her.
What began as gratitude turned into resentment. Rachael and Rosa, two women from different walks of life, found common ground in their envy of Ellie's seemingly perfect life.
I've been thinking, Rosa, what if we, I don't know, found a way to bring her down a notch? She needs to see what it's like to lose for once.
Are you sure? She's done so much for us. But maybe you're right. She could use a dose of humility.
Exactly. We'll work together. She trusts us completely. She'll never see it coming.
And so the stage was set. What Ellie had built with love, they conspired to tear apart. A betrayal born not of hatred, but of envy. A betrayal that would shatter the bonds she cherished most. Months pass. It's an evening drenched in twilight. Ellie sits on the sofa, sipping tea. Rosa enters hesitantly. But shadows have a way of creeping in, even into the brightest of homes. Ellie, ever trusting, didn't see the cracks forming around her.
Rosa, you've been quiet lately. Is everything okay?
Oh, madam, everything is fine. Just tired, that's all.
But everything was not fine. Unseen by Ellie, secrets brewed in the air, heavier than the humid Lagos night. For years, Ellie felt fulfilled by the relationships she nurtured. But life has a cruel way of teaching us that even the purest love can be betrayed. It began subtly, almost imperceptibly. Rachael, once so close, had grown distant, her warmth replaced by cold indifference. Ellie noticed, but she pushed the doubts aside, attributing the distance to stress. After all, wasn't love supposed to endure? But the cracks in the foundation were growing. Whispers of betrayal soon reached her ears. Rumors that Rachael was bad-mouthing her, painting her as manipulative, controlling, someone who uses her wealth to dominate others. Ellie dismissed it at first. Rachael would never say that, she told herself. Though the doubts began to creep in, she couldn't ignore the uneasy feeling that something was wrong. One afternoon, Ellie returns from a walk. The house is unusually quiet. She hears muffled voices from the kitchen.
She acts like she's so kind, but we know better. She thinks she's better than us, always flaunting her wealth. You're right, she doesn't deserve any of it.
Ellie's face freezes, her breath catching in her throat. She retreats quietly, her mind racing. Those words, laced with bitterness and envy, were a dagger to Ellie's heart. Could it be true? Was Rosa, the woman she had embraced as family, conspiring against her? It was like a slap to the face, the voice of betrayal from someone she trusted. Ellie quickly composed herself, pretending she hadn't heard anything, and quietly left the kitchen. That night her mind raced. Who could Rosa have been speaking to? Ellie's heart was heavy, but she resolved to find out. The next day, while Rosa was out running an errand Ellie had sent her on, she installed a hidden CCTV camera in the house. It wasn't something she ever thought she'd need to do, but the nagging suspicion demanded answers.
I need to know the truth.
Days later, Ellie reviews the footage in her office. The camera captures her expression as she watches Rachael and Rosa rummaging through her belongings. The truth unraveled like a thread, each frame revealing the depth of the betrayal. Her best friend and trusted maid had conspired, their greed and jealousy spilling into the very space Ellie had made sacred.
No, not in my home.
Ellie's hands tremble as she closes the laptop. Determination hardens her features. Ellie left her office immediately, got into her car, and sped home, pulling up to the gate. Afternoon sunlight streams through the windows as Ellie storms into her house. Her steps are purposeful, her heart pounding.
What are you doing?
I'm so sorry, Mo. I was manipulated. I didn't mean to.
Shut it.
Share what, Rachael? Should I share the wealth I toiled day and night to build? Did you ever lift a finger to help me? The sacrifices I made? After everything I've done for you, for both of you, this is how you repay me. Let me have my documents.
Keep your precious documents.
She storms out, slamming the door behind her. Ellie turns to Rosa, whose sobs grow louder. When Rosa finished her confession, Ellie took a deep breath. Ellie's voice is quiet and steady despite the storm raging inside her.
She said you were using us, controlling us. I believed her. I've been stealing from you. I'm sorry, Mom. Please, forgive me.
Pack your things, Rosa. You can't stay here anymore.
Rosa's sobs echo as Ellie walks away, her heart heavy, but her resolve unshaken. And with that, she turned and walked away, closing the door on a chapter that had scarred her deeply, but taught her a painful, necessary lesson about trust. Ellie's chest felt heavy, as if the air had been sucked from the room. The betrayal was too much to process. These were the two people she had trusted the most, loved the most. She had given them everything, her time, her energy, her heart, and they had repaid her with deceit. Nights turned into a blur of tears and anguish. The weight of the betrayal crushed her spirit. She felt alone, surrounded by people she had cared for, but who had only taken advantage of her. The pain of it was unbearable. She fell into depression, unable to sleep or eat. Her mind was consumed by the betrayal. The more she thought about it, the more hopeless she felt. The pain wasn't just emotional. It was physical, a crushing weight that made her question her very existence. One night, as the house lay silent, Ellie sat in her darkened living room, staring blankly at the cold, empty street outside. She felt hollow, broken beyond repair. For the first time, the thought of ending her pain crossed her mind. Perhaps the world would be better off without her. If love, her greatest strength, had only brought her betrayal, what was the point of living? But as she sat there, consumed by despair, a sudden memory flashed before her eyes. A younger Ellie, standing alone in the orphanage, feeling unloved and unwanted, gazing out at the world with hope in her eyes. She remembered the promise she had made to herself all those years ago, to never let the darkness win. And then, like a whisper in her heart, she heard it, a voice she hadn't heard in years. I am with you, always. A warmth spread through her, soft yet powerful, like a gentle light piercing through the shadows. Ellie wept. It wasn't just a memory. It was a reminder that she wasn't alone. She realized that she had survived the loneliness of her childhood, the struggles of building a life from nothing. And that same strength was still within her. Tears streamed down her face as she prayed for the first time in a long while. She poured her heart out, asking for strength, for clarity, and for the courage to move forward. In that moment, she understood that her worth didn't come from the approval or loyalty of others. It came from within. Ellie decided not to end her life that night. Instead, she chose to rebuild. Slowly, day by day, she began picking up the pieces of her shattered heart. Night falls again, but this time, Ellie sits by the window, a soft smile on her face. The betrayal had broken her, but it had not destroyed her.
My worth is not in what I give or what others take from me. My worth is in my heart, in my strength, in my resilience. This is not the end of my story.
Ellie's story was one of love, betrayal, and redemption. In the end, she emerged stronger, not because she was unbroken, but because she chose to rise despite the pain.